What's up?
What's going on, people?
What up?
Whoa. Whoa.
Why did it start on me?
Well,
I wasn't even talking. What's up?
we're figuring this crap out still. We're that awesome, but you know.
We're hoping this will go a lot smoother down later on down the road.
Yeah.
Hey, it's taken Stan about half a year to get it down.
Yeah, the sound's working right away. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah, as long as everybody can hear us and see us, we're doing good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's the link, Aziz.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, so how's everybody doing today? This is episode 1 of Vaping with my Ohmies. And
Yes.
here's our stand-in panel and all that kind of thing. Let's do, I guess, we'll start off with a what are we vaping? I'm gonna throw it over to Poon Sauce over here.
Oh, okay. All of that's on me now. Hold on. Let me drip really quick. Okay. First setup tonight. I got my Cartel Revenant sitting
Nice.
on top at my Crichton,
Oh,
vaping on some
That's nice setup.
overtime off the clock. It's like a blue raz sour candy. It's fucking delicious. I got my broadside 2700, the Colaren on top, and that I got some bubble berry. Trying to polish this thing off, hopefully, and that is it.
Nice.
Next one, I'll get it off to Mr. Swaggins.
Oh, well, thank you there, Mr. Poon Sauce. First of all, can I say that I love that somehow I am the thumbnail to this video when it's shared. So
Change it later.
cheers. I'm a little zoomed in. Maybe I should zoom out a little bit. There we go.
Told you so.
There we go.
All right. Hey, what's going on, Ohmies?
What's up?
My name is Vapor Swaggins, and I'm here so you don't have to be. Tonight I'm rocking the L Thunder 2700 with the TM24 Pro on top. Inside of what's that?
I just wanted to give a shout out to Mike Mex, all the way out from the UK.
Oh hell yeah! What's going on, Mike?
Mike's
Mike's Mex reviews. What's going on, buddy?
That's
Shoot,
awesome.
what am I vaping inside of this? I'm vaping Savage Marcellus.
Oh, delicious. Love
it.
that
Cream
stuff.
I'm in the midst of trying to buy some of that right now.
Trat.
You need to. You need to. It'll change
Yeah,
your
buddy.
life.
I'm vaping on that new the Rage Squonk with the Pearl White Dead Rabbit, and inside of that I have some of the ever so delicious Millionaire Mango. And finally, I'm vaping on, of course, the Dreamer Mech with the Gunmetal 1 of 200 Recoil Rebel.
Fantastic.
And-
It's very crazy.
Yeah, inside of that, I got, whoa, this is not closed. Thirst by Devour. Or Devour by Thirst.
Okay.
Yes, so that's all I'm vaping on tonight. Let's take it away, James Franklin.
All right. Well, let's see here. Well, I'm going to start off with, of course, I've been rocking this thing since I've got it. My my Rage Squonk by Homeboy OC, and this lovely black recurve that I've fallen in love with a Pearl DHD nub tip. And inside of that, I've got some of this Lemon Berry by Transistors. Oh my God. I cannot put this stuff down. Like, I think I'm going to end up vaping this whole bottle within the week. Second off,
finish that bottle. I'll send you some more shit.
oh, dude, you're awesome, man. I've got the white All Thunder 2700 with that lovely Gunmetal Rebel on top with the clear dock tip. Beautiful, beautiful setup.
Nice.
And inside of this, I'm rocking some of that lovely Millionaire OG. This stuff is absolutely delicious. And I'm going to go ahead and throw one more in on you guys. I'm rocking my Dreamer I know it's a little bit tattered.
It's your
But,
special edition, man. I keep telling you.
Dude,
Yeah,
honestly, I don't care. It's
best
custom. No
car-
one's going to have that. You know what I mean? I'm rocking the Dead Rabbit with the priest cap. And inside of this, I've got, where'd it go? Some Rounds Water Dragon.
Ooh, how is that?
This stuff is delicious. Wow. Dude, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And that's it for me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Mr. Aziz.
What's up, Ohmies? First of all, on that pod system, still rocking the fix with the original tobacco. Second of all, Grim Army, Hexome, V3, and the Churchill RTA from E Apothecary. Vaping on caramel waffle cappuccino.
Ooh.
Awesome juice. And finally, my Defined Designs DS with the Goon 1.5 deck and the Trinity Glass Autumn Cap. Vaping on my all-day vape, which is Surf Satisfying.
Oh,
Dude,
fuck.
I've heard nothing
Nice.
but good things about that. What's the flavor profile on that again?
It's
like a,
raspberry dragon fruit iced tea.
Oh my god.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
that's amazing.
It's my all-day vape.
All right, I guess last over here. I got that
Save the best for last, man.
V3, Rig V3 with the Druga on top. And in there, I got some of those Sammy Nitro coils right there.
Oh, yes. Not to mention, I think I'm rocking that in all my setups, too.
Seriously, I got 5150 coils in every one of my setups tonight.
I
Yeah,
can't
Sammy
wait to get
Nitro.
mine.
Awesome builder, man. And then that I got the Grand Slam, which I'm almost done with. And then I got my Copper Rig V3. And these are just my new toys, and I'm trying them out. Got that, what is this thing called again? The Azeroth by Coil Art.
Oh, triple coils, huh?
Got to do the triple coil on that one. Otherwise, I don't like it. And then that one, I got my own special little stash. It's a strawberries and cream kind of thing. Super
Nice.
steep, if you can't tell.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So yeah,
away.
this is the crew. This is the group.
We are your Ohmies.
Yep.
Vape with
Come
us.
vape with us.
And hi to everyone in chat. Just
Hello. Should we
I'll
shout
do a
some
couple
people
little
out?
shout outs. I'm going to shout
Yeah.
out Mr. Dave Satek. Always, always in the Discord server chatting it up with us.
We got Mr. Just Right.
Mysterium Vapes.
Oh shit! What's up, Mr. Just Right?
Oh,
We also
Joel.
got Sammy Nitro in the house, the man himself,
Yup.
who supplied us all with
Man,
these
the
lovely,
fucking
lovely
Nitro.
coils. Absolutely.
Who else we got?
Let's see.
Of course, Clownette, the dead mother. We
And
miss you,
Mr.
bestie.
Mike Reviews, all the way from over in the UK.
Seriously, man, what time is it over there?
I'm like,
It's hanging out.
Dude, it's
Close to
not
the
it's not like Kuwait.
We also got Mr. Danny. We also got Mr. Danny Castle in the chat. And thanks for joining us.
Vape.
Thanks for joining us.
Vaping Irish. We got Mysterion Vapes. We got AO Vape. What's going on, buddy?
what's up?
He just picked up one of those Craving Vapor pod
Jinx?
systems.
Oh, the Dinks.
Yeah.
The Jinx.
What do you have to say about it? Because I'm curious, but I don't want to buy one.
I don't know. He just got it.
It's all hyped up, so I have my suspicions on it.
Yeah, I have my reservations on it as well. I don't know how I feel about it.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you have your reservations for the cheap price of $34.99, you can get yourself a Breeze 2, and this thing is sick as tits.
You mean Ella's breast?
That too.
Yes.
You know he probably has a copyright on that by now.
Probably, bro.
Trademark.
So, guys, you want to kind of just go around and introduce ourselves, tell everybody a little bit about our story, and we can kind of pick some subjects and
Oh yeah.
see where the show goes.
Sure thing. Who wants to go
I mean,
first?
okay, like I started vaping in 2012. How about you guys? When did you guys decide to make the change?
Like you quit completely in 2012. You never touched a stinky, or
No. That actually took about, it was a 2-year journey trying to find the right vape for me and what actually worked, because I am not a mouth to lung guy. Like
Yeah.
I barely got into that recently. So to me, it's a very new concept.
yeah,
'Cause even when I smoked, it was direct lung, which
Yeah.
people always give me the same look when I say that, but I managed to do it.
So you were a cigarette smoker or a hookah?
Cigarette.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
hookah's not really like as huge. You know, it's not as cultural here. So it's like if you had a hookah bar, if you had friends that hookah'd, maybe you'd do hookah. I know I had
Yeah.
friends that hookah'd, but like that's not what got me addicted to, cigarettes.
That's actually something that kind of got me started, to be honest. I had a few buddies in high school that were like super into the whole hookah, scene, going to the hookah bars, having one at their house whenever they had a party. And, it was just something I kind of did on the weekends. And then eventually, as time went by, I got a little bit older. I ended up, picking up some cigarettes, and shoot, I smoked till about, say, almost 3 years ago now is when I fully made the switch.
Nice. Well, that's similar for me. I mean, it's almost 4 years now. I think I started in early 2015. So I know what you're talking about, Clown, when you're saying like the mouth to lungs, the cartomizers, is really difficult for me to kind of get into it. Especially because the flavors weren't really, I didn't know what to get, to be honest.
Setups weren't all that great. And even then, like, back then I think mechs were it.
Yeah.
And I was rocking a C4 tank on an Ego battery. And that thing was a piece, but it kind of did its job, I suppose.
Thank God I didn't start vaping at the same time as you started vaping.
Those coil heads were horrible.
Yeah, I started vaping, I think September 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And the newest thing was, what's it called? The Joytech Evic VT 60 watts.
Yeah.
Then the small guy, I think yeah, the one with the stripes.
Well, that's interesting because I started. I mean, I had a 30 watt. So you had a 60 watt device. I had a buddy of mine that I gamed with online sent me a Hanamods clone, a 30 watt Hanamods clone. Told me he actually showed me the reason why I got into Grim Green is because he showed me Grim Green's video. The K Fun light is really fun, and basically told me where to get a clone of it. And so I had a K Fun clone on a Hanamods clone. 30 watt device, and I was vaping at like 1.3, 1.4 ohms. And it was all right. It's what got me off of cigarettes. But then when I did more research, I kind of found better products out there.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about how I started vaping.
Sure.
And so in 2009, I had a summer course here in Kuwait. I was in college, and I woke up having breathing difficulties, and all of you guys know I was an obese guy. I was like more than close to.
I was gonna ask you that was part of what affected you on that.
Yeah, I was close to 400 pounds. So I smoked. I was obese, and Kuwait is hot as hell here in the summer. So I woke up and I couldn't breathe. I called my brother, told him to pick me up, drop me off at the hospital, and actually I fainted in the doctor's office, or I don't know, where he does the checkup basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they put me in the ICU, and literally the guy next to me in the ICU had H1N1, which is the swine flu.
Yeah.
I went into a 55-day coma, and when I woke up, I couldn't move any part of my body. I couldn't talk, and they did a tracheotomy, which is they put a hole in your windpipe because the doctors told me while I was in in the middle of my coma, both of my lungs collapsed. So when I woke up, I went to Germany for 7 months, as in a physical rehabilitation center kind of thing, just to get the mobility back into my body, so I can walk, I can function as a normal human being. And I started smoking again, because all of us know smoking is not easy to quit. It's not like one day you smoke and the other day I'm dead stop. I'm gonna stop. Time progressed, and uh, in September 2015, I was in on a vacation on the US. I was in Miami actually, and a guy in this the hotel swimming pool was vaping. So I was curious. I went to him and politely asked him, "What are you doing?" And he started telling me about vaping. The next thing I did, I crushed my Parliament lights, threw them in the trash bin, went to the nearest vape shop, and I got that Joytech Evic VT.
Nice.
Wow.
You never smoked again after that? You just, what flavor did you, first of all, what flavor did you grab? And then outside of that, you never picked up a cigarette again?
To tell you the truth, I picked up a few cigarettes, but the first puff when I drag on that cigarette, I remember the horrible taste of the cigarette, and I instantly throw it to the ground and go on back to vaping. And the first flavor I vaped was it's a one-hit wonder Milkman, which is, I think, a strawberry milkshake, something like that, strawberry milk.
Interesting.
Yeah. I just got a shout out for Overdrip, our boy.
Over dripping the house.
Phenomenal Canadian, in my opinion. Although I
he's
only
an
know
awesome
3 of them, and 2.5 of them
Actually-
are pretty good.
Actually,
2.5 of them?
you know 4 of them.
I do.
Yeah, don't forget Chris Lopez. Chris
Oh,
Lopez
yeah.
is Canadian,
Yeah,
right?
He's from California, isn't he?
It's-
No, I thought
yeah,
it
I
was,
think he's in
No.
California.
It's what's it called? Frank David or David Frank?
It's well, I think he goes by Frank Wolf.
Johnny
Yeah,
Hopkins,
Frank Wolf's in Canada.
Frank. I'm sorry, dude. I butchered your name,
Sloan Kittering.
but I have a horrible memory.
Okay.
So what
Well,
about you, James?
I'm gonna kind of go off of what Swaggin's saying. You know, like what flavor was it that got me to like actually make the switch? Because that was something that kind of took me a little while. You know what I mean? To find that one flavor that just hit it on the nose for me. That it was just like, yep, this is it. This is what I needed, and you know what I mean. And I was a big time menthol smoker when I smoked, so it had to. As soon as I found that right menthol, I think it was like a strawberry watermelon menthol flavor that just like did it for me. And I vaped that same flavor for probably like a whole month. I went through like 2-3 different bottles of it. And then, you know, I started, you know, kind of getting into the hobbyist side of it. And that just is what kind of made it for me. It's just like, yeah, there's no way I'm ever picking up a cigarette again. It's just like now the smell, I can't stand the smell. Just like being around it is just like, it's not for me anymore, man.
Yeah, was it the
See,
last
for me-
setup I had was the Nautilus Mini with the Ego 70 watt, and I was vaping like coffees out of that, and I switched to one of those Kangaroo top box minis with the tank that came with it, and that's where I kind of went full.
That was back when
switch.
Kangaroo was killing it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Whatever
See,
happened to Kanger?
Yeah.
Dude.
They still make products, but they're just not as put out as the rest of them.
They have like a
Yeah,
system coming out.
exactly.
But outside of that, I've actually, I know they haven't heard your stories, but I've heard your stories. I'm really interested to hear Poon Sauce's story because Poon Sauce has
know
been
his
hanging
story.
out. Yeah, and we've never
Yeah.
actually heard your testimonial.
Okay, so I started smoking cigarettes when I was 13 years old in middle school. So when I started, I did that until probably my sophomore year of high school, to where I stopped smoking because towards the end, I hated the taste. So I started hookah when my sophomore year. I was doing like 3 shishas a night. I bought my own. I freaking was going nuts. And then with it, so then probably 2015, around my birthday, one of my friends wanted me to stop doing hookah because it's worse than cigarettes pretty much with all the shit in there.
Yeah.
So she got me those Boulder all-in-one like pens.
Yeah.
So that was my first ever vape.
That's basically how I started. In like an all-in-one system. Well, other than the blue e-cigs, which were awful. Because my mom, if you would believe it, I'm a mommy's boy. She was like, Swaggins, you gotta quit smoking. And I was like, well, I love smoking so much. I love just everything about it. All my friends would always say, like, they'd be huffing cigarettes, they'd be chiefing cigarettes in college, whatnot. We'd be drinking, smoking cigarettes. And they would always be like, dude, you look so cool smoking cigarettes. That didn't help, first of all. And secondly, I would always just like enjoy it. I enjoyed smoking. I really did. I grew up in a family where everybody smoked. And then when I was finally old enough to smoke, I mean, I started smoking at 17. So I wasn't technically legally old enough to smoke. But when I did start, everybody was quitting in my family. So it's like I was the one person smoking now, and everybody in my family, and I'm talking about a big family. I'm the youngest of 6. So a very big family. I was smoking and whatnot and enjoying it. And so I tried the e-cigarette after 9 years of smoking, the blue e-cigarette, and it was awful. The draw was not anything like a real cigarette. The flavor was like smoking cardboard. And it didn't give me the nicotine that I was looking for. So I just continued to smoke. And it was really expensive too, by the way. But basically, fast forward a couple more years, a buddy of mine was starting a job where he couldn't smoke. And I was like, dude, why don't you try out vaping? And the irony is that, well, I'll get to that, or the real irony, but the irony is that I was still smoking and I was telling him to vape instead of smoking. And so he started vaping, and then I think that it was like 3 or 4 months, and then I bumped into him again for his fiance's birthday party, and we went out for a smoke break, and he was vaping, and he let me hit it, and he's like, dude, this is that thing that you told me to get, or you told me to start vaping. And I vaped it, and I was like, this is good. This is legit. I could actually do this. Why haven't it? So I immediately went and I asked him like all the info, and I went, and it was a Vapor 5 pen. So it was one of those all-in-one, kind of cartomizer pens. And it wasn't the greatest thing ever, but it got me intrigued. It got me interested in vaping. And I was vaping way too high in nicotine. I was getting like a nicotine rush off of it. I think it was 18 milligram. Now, I didn't smoke that much. I mean, I think I smoked maybe a half a pack of cigarettes a day. And so I started doing that. And then, like I said, I was gaming, and then my buddies just like, basically I went from Vapor 5 pen into rebuilding my own RDAs and shit like that. So
yeah, like I think my first setup that I got was a Sigelli mini book. I believe it was like a 60-watt device or something like that. Single battery, single 18650, and I think I had like a Nautilus or something on top of it. And that was the thing that got me to make the switch.
Yeah.
And then
mine was like a vanilla flavored e-ciga like.
okay.
That was the first thing I tried, and I mean it had good flavor. I just didn't see the point.
Yeah.
That's why I moved on to the C4 tank.
Yeah.
I never really got into multi-lung till the rage of the pod systems.
Pod systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was the same way too.
Well, shoot, I think it's easier now more than ever. I mean, if all these pod systems were out there when I first started, I mean, because I was like a dual vapor smoker for a long time.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I would relapse back into, not even thinking about it as a relapse, but whatever. If I ever went out drinking in the city with my buddies, I would be smoking cigarettes. I'd buy a pack, or a buddy of mine would buy a pack, and they'd just be like, "Hey, you want to have a smoke?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, let's go for a smoke break," you know. But now it's like, with everything that's available, and with the Stooges, and with the people, the community of vaping that I've, you know, really kind of I dove headfirst into. It's like, it doesn't even really phase me anymore. I mean, I went away on vacation and all I brought was a Soren Air with me, and I was able to be around drunk people, and not smoking, like chain smoking cigarettes, and really not even have a desire to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was funny because I dual used for about 2 years before I completely let go of cigarettes, and I was basically running to the vape shop to buy e-liquid and running to a convenience store to get cigarettes every day before work. I kind of find that ironically hilarious right now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
Definitely.
remember like when I was in high school, freaking ditching class sometimes, is going like the old school style, going behind the bleachers and fucking smoking cigarettes. Like you think you're a cool motherfucker. Like high school, it's like Jesus, the fuck was I thinking after I look back at it?
Yeah.
So guys, I've heard that a lot of the U.S. Canadian get notes from their parents for school so they can smoke.
What?
Is that,
When did that happen?
Yeah, I went.
I don't know the correct context of that whole sentence,
Mhm.
but I think I've heard it a bunch of times that they have their parents' permission, basically.
Well, let's put it this way: the legal smoking age in the United States is 18. So
Mhm.
technically, you wouldn't need a parent's note to be able to have permission to smoke because you're an adult. So that right there should allow you to know, like, that's, I mean, that's, I don't know where you heard that or whatever, but first of all, you know, one, a parent to get a parent note to be able to smoke wouldn't be a thing you'd need because you're an adult legally in the country, and also they don't allow smoking. Sam
says that was a thing years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's something that happened.
Maybe it's before our time.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. That's more like back in like the 80s. That was the thing.
Early
like,
90s.
Yeah, I think that was back around when like the last dinosaur died.
the last airplane that had
Sam, we love you.
ashtrays on the armrests.
Oh,
yeah. It's like I actually got to try the whole smoking at an IHOP thing.
Yeah,
it's a thing, man.
That's so funny. You were saying that because I was just thinking in my mind. I was like, I remember how awesome it was to go to places where you could smoke indoors.
Yeah,
and how satisfying that was, and how much I take it for granted that like I sit in my lair, my command center, and I just vape my face off, and I'm like, oh, you know, I don't even have a thought about it. It's like I can vape inside wherever I want. Not chucking or throwing breasts, because we don't want to do that. You know, there's some people I read comments about, all right, well, you know, they're at their son's, you know, little league game and they're chucking clouds, and then they get asked to leave, and then they're all like upset about it. Well, dude, you're making us all look bad. You shouldn't be chucking clouds in public.
No, I mean, there's like a
it's about respect. Yeah. It's like if you know you're going to be going out in public and you're going to be around a big group of people, then that's something you've got to be aware of. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you have a setup that's going to be throwing clouds like crazy, step away. You know what I mean? Separate yourself from everybody. You know, it's just courtesy. You know what I mean? Because if there's somebody who doesn't vape, they don't want that vapor blowing in their face. You know what I mean? It's like not like if you go to like a vape shop and you're hanging out and you're just like, you know, vaping.
To be fair,
the same rules like that apply for smokers. I mean,
exactly. Yeah, you have to separate yourself from people.
To be fair, I feel like, you know, I want to play devil's advocate a little bit for this guy, you know, even though I don't agree with that. But let's be honest, we live in a society where if you're chucking clouds and people can visibly see it, you get kicked out. But like the dude that doesn't wear deodorant and reeks and is sitting on the, you know, the stands, it's like, or is sitting next to you on the airplane, you can't like, it's like it's not courteous for you to be like, dude, you need to put some deodorant on or have a piece of gum or get out of here. You stink. Go take a shower. You know,
At my last job, we actually had a guy where the lead had to have a talk to him about deodorant and how he needs some, and he even handed him a bar of deodorant and all that. Like,
we gotta go like that where I'm at, man. It's bad.
asked him if he showered in the morning.
Well, think about it that way too. I mean, I guess it started as a joke, but you know, a lot of people that are smoking, right? It's like you can carry around like little starter kits with you, but it's almost like it's like the vapor's gospel. It's like if they're not ready for it, if you walk up to some random person, it's almost like remember when you were a smoker? I think we've all experienced this where someone's been like, "That's bad for you. That's going to kill you." It's like, no shit. Why are you telling me that? Okay, it's like the most like absurd thing to just walk up to somebody you don't know and do that. Same thing with like a vape kit. It's like you can't walk up to somebody who's not a vapor and be like, "Here you go." Like they're gonna be like, "Okay, cool, thanks, man." You know, same thing that you couldn't walk up to somebody who stinks and be like, "Dude, here's a stick of deodorant. Maybe you should use this."
Well, it's like to a point like
well,
like I was to say my boss, she's a heavy smoker. And she sees me vape and she, you know, asks questions here and there. And then like a while back, she's like, okay, I've tried vaping. I haven't enjoyed it. What do you recommend? And I was like, I'll give you an idea for something, the least fiddly thing I can think of, and I'll see what I can do for you. And I recommended the Me One. And a couple of days ago, she just looked at me. She's like, I've only had 2 cigarettes today. I'm like, very proud of you.
That's what's up though.
She's toning it down.
And going back to the whole deodorant thing, I can understand if someone, for example, works outdoors under the sun. That's as in work
Unacceptable.
parameters.
Unacceptable.
But if you work in a cubicle, that's just nasty.
Yeah, it's common courtesy, same thing. So it just full circles around common courtesy. Okay, I mean, we made this. Hey, if you stink, I'm not trying to make fun of you, or I'm not trying to pick you out of a crowd. All right, but we're just trying to make a reference to the fact that, you know, if that's not acceptable, or if you think that in your mind, what do you think people think of you when you're chucking clouds in a public place? Okay, just don't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The same thing if someone takes a drag from a cigarette and blows it in your direction.
Oh yeah, you feel very offended at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, even if it is cotton candy flavor, that's the thing people say too. It's like, it's not like I'm offending you. I mean, I'm vaping strawberry banana milkshake. It's like, yeah, well, they still don't know. I mean, to them, it's a plume of white stuff that doesn't look like air because air is invisible. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like wizards.
No, yeah. I mean, it's just a courtesy thing. That's just what it boils down to.
Oh, we got Mr. Stan Tenacious TX Vapes in the house.
Yeah, he gets a shout out.
I saw a full Savage earlier. I don't know if he got shouted out.
What's up, Kevin L?
Mr. Cardbond in the house. Welcome.
What do you guys think in chat? What do you think about chucking clouds in public?
Yeah.
Do you think it's fine? Like, do you think there are certain situations where it's okay? Because I know a lot of people take a mech out with them, like one of these, because they want to enjoy themselves, or they take one to work with them. It's like, all right, you go out on your smoke break, or you go out on a break and you're chucking clouds. Like, what is acceptable? Where and when is it acceptable to be chucking clouds? Or should every vapor be bringing a mouth to lung or a pod system out with them? You know?
It also depends on the people you're around too.
Yeah.
So it's like if you know you're around somebody who thinks that's going to be inconsiderate, like if you go out there with a mech and start fucking pluming around them, if you're knowing you're going to be around people that you don't know if are comfortable around it, just bring them out to lung. Have one in your pocket or something just in case. You think,
exactly.
They don't take up a lot of space.
I mean, even like I try to, like, if I have a big setup on me and I'm on like a huge crowd, I try to like blow downwards to where it just doesn't like make this whole big announcement around me, you know?
Yeah.
Or when I do that, when I'm around a group of people, I make it like a point to where I just say I walk 10 feet away from the group for a couple minutes, just either down the street or something, just take a walk for a minute, vape a little bit, then come on back and just start conversating again.
So that point that it's almost like, all right, well, future of the industry, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that someone this is a wild kind of idea that I just had, but do you think how that you had that couples mod where it had like 2 RDAs on the top and 1 mouthpiece?
Yeah.
You ever think if they could do something like that, you think that they could make I think they've done this before in the past actually. Maybe you guys know this on the panel, maybe in chat too, but something where it's like you vape it, right? And then there's a side part where you can blow the smoke. You can blow the vapor into it, and it like dissipates the vapor. Where you can actually take a huge rip, and you can blow into like the side of your mod, and it just dissipates the vapor, so nobody sees it. Or it turns into like a
what company
cloud.
They made a couple of
like
filters like that.
It's like literally a tube. You hold the tube, you vape, you put your mouth to the tube, and like you breathe through it, and it like supposed to dissipate the vapor. But
yeah, I remember that thing. They had something like that come out.
It's called a spoof, right?
Something like that. It's inconvenient though because you're not going to want to hold a mod and then hold a fucking tube with you too. So it's like a fucking cylinder.
I'd rather take a mouth to lung than go through that hassle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just got to know who you're around, what the situation calls for. You know what I mean? If you're going to be around a bunch of people that vape and don't care, go ahead, chuck your tits off. But if you're going to be like around a group of people that don't, like I said, separate yourself or, bring like a little, pod system or something that's not going to be putting out those huge plumes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it seems like that's the general consensus, even from the chat. Like Stan even says, walk away from people, not in dense areas.
Cardmont farts on.
Mike Mex says, you could chuck clouds, but just exhale upward or down towards the floor, so it's not like going in people's faces.
Yeah.
It's just being aware of the people that are around you. That's all it is.
One thing I do that I know, that's what I always do if I'm like have like a cloud chasing device on me, and I blow it up and the fucking wind doesn't agree with you, and it comes right back down, and you're like, oh,
I hate that.
Yeah, that too. You always got to take wind into consideration.
That's the thing, honestly.
I'm like, I didn't mean for this to happen. I apologize.
Yeah.
That's why when I go out, I take my mouth to lung, which is either my Mi Pod or my Fix, and anything that I can chuck clouds.
Yeah. And if you're not into like the Mi Pods or like pod systems, you can always go get like a little MTL tank. I mean, Berserker Mini is a great one. There's a lot of options out there, guys.
That's a good point you make too, because a lot of these pod systems are marketed towards people who are just starting or aren't a hobbyist. But it's not in most. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like I mean I actually can't say that, but most people wouldn't think. All right, well, when you're already at the level of a mech tube and an RDA where you're used to just full plumes and just filling your lungs full of vapor and whatnot, and how satisfying that is, like to go backwards. It's almost like going backwards. Like, why would I get a Miley or or one of those other systems that it's just like, all right, well, it's nothing. It's all it is a throat hit. It's like they're not looking for that anymore. They're actually just they're completely. I mean, if they're vaping zero nick,
Well,
so what makes a person want to go back?
It's actually dependent on the reason you vape. So I know a bunch of guys here in Kuwait that only vape because they think it's cool. So they just want to see that huge plume of vapor. And I know most of the vapors here vape because they want that nicotine rush or nicotine that they need.
Yeah.
So when I take 4 or 5 rips out of an RTA, I can just take a few puffs of a 50 milligram nic salt, and I'll get that nicotine that I need.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
it's like with me, like throughout the day, I'm at work and I don't have the opportunity to kind of step away and, take like my rage or my El Thunder and go have that nice couple of thick clouds. I only have like a minute or two. I just grab my little pod system, take 1 or 2 good rips off of it, and it gives me that same satisfaction as if I were to take like, you know, those 3 or 4 or 5 big rips off of a, you know, sub-owned device.
No, yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like devices have gotten better over the years. Like I said, I just remember having that Nautilus Mini, and it probably would have done the job if I was like mouth to lung, but it wasn't for me. And
Yeah.
even then, like coil heads to me are a pain. I don't like them. I love building. To me, building is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And that's where like the Kanger sub box really helped because it had a RBA with it.
Yeah.
So I started building my own coils. And
did anyone show you how to do that, Clown, or did you just were like, hey, this is an RBA. Let me like get some wire. I watched some videos, or
well, okay, that was the thing. Like I didn't discover vaping on YouTube or forums or anything until like 2014.
Okay,
and I was like, holy shit, there's a whole world of you over here.
Yeah.
Because like the shop I went to, they were cool, but at the same time, they're kind of lazy. They still kind of are.
Yeah.
And what's it called? So I was just struggling along trying to figure myself out because I had one friend that was the one that brought me onto vaping, and then she just kind of quit. So I was left by myself because like none of my friends around me in my personal day to day at all smoke or vape or anything. So it was just me over there standing by myself and shit. Whenever we would hang out, and they're like, "Well, I'm gonna go over here and smoke. I'm gonna go over here and vape."
That's the thing, though.
Nobody else does it.
To speak to that, I mean, it's crazy. I mentioned earlier, like the gospel of vaping, or like our testimonials. It's almost like a religious experience to be a part of the vape community. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I never thought like, all right, well, when I smoked cigarettes, yeah, it was a social thing. You know, no one can, you know, that's what you do. It's like you meet people, you know, when you go out for a smoke break.
Yeah, but it's not the same like with like vaping where you will sit there and talk your gear and how
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like you get plugged in, man. I mean, I spent years thinking I was the only one that like that was like that really. I saw these people online that geeked out about it, but like I knew nobody in my circles. Everybody called my vape a douche flute, right? Yeah. I just laughed about it. I was like, whatever, you know, I'm not smoking. And then I got plugged in and I started to actually get actively involved. And I mean, it's made me even more enthusiastic about it. It's made me, you know, it's kind of bolstered me from ever thinking about smoking again, you know, ever going back to when I hang out with my high school friends, when they all come around and we go out to the city and they're all smoking cigarettes. I'm not going to have a cigarette now. I mean, cause I have friends who don't, you know, there's a Discord server that we all hang out on, that we all hang out like pretty much 24/7. And you have that, you know, backup. You have those people that have the same interest as you, people that are turning you on to new things and bringing up new conversations and new ideas and constantly having your back in this fight to stay away from something that is so harmful. And there's so much factual evidence that shows us that it's awful for you, but it's like you're addicted to it. It's got a grip on you. And this is like a help group to keep you off of that. I mean, as serious as I don't want to bring it that serious, but it really is.
It's Vapers Anonymous.
Since we're kind of on like more of a serious note, there's something I wanted to bring up. The flavor comment period on the FDA is still going on. We need as many people as we can to go and submit their comments to the FDA. You know, it just, you don't have to put a long story, you know, just a little paragraph explaining, you know, how you got your start in vaping, like what flavors it was that, you know, got you to make the switch and how important those flavors were to making that switch, you know. And, you know, we also have a giveaway running as well on my Lanza on his Instagram. It's for a bottle, 240 ml bottle of juice from the IVC line. And all you got to do is go submit your comment, take a screenshot, DM him on Instagram that you did your comment, you know, and just repost. And you guys can do this once a day. You know, it's not just a one-time thing. Every day you can go on and submit a comment. And from what I understand, it's not just a US thing. Everybody around the world can go and submit comments from what I understand. So if you feel like helping us out and, you know, you want to help support the industry out here, you know, go and submit those comments, guys. It's, you know, something that needs to be done, and it's something that at the end of the day is going to help us. You know what I mean? So we'll see what we can do, but we really need you guys to go and do that.
Yeah, Mrs. Clownette just posted that in the chat. So if you guys just click on that, she did half the work for you already. I had one quick question. I was just curious about this because we have Aziz in here, and he's thank you, Aziz. It's what time is it over there?
It's 3:45 a.m.
3:45 a.m.
Jesus, brother.
Jeez,
That's
man.
great.
So
you are a trooper.
yeah, I have a question. Like, what is, a lot of people smoke out there, right? Would you say it's a part of the culture? And what's it like being a vapor, in that culture?
Good question.
Well,
Good question.
Well, the vaping scene actually took, as in heavily in late 2015, the beginning of 2016. And it began as in a fad, a new thing. And all of us know fads don't last that much long. So the only one who stuck vaping is the ones who really wanted to stop smoking, because you can't even believe how much smoking affects the lifestyle here in Kuwait. Because as I've said, Kuwait has 10 months of summer basically. So we have a huge amount of hookah bars. We have literally every supermarket, mini market, gas station sells cigarettes. So everywhere you go, there is not a smoking area. You can smoke literally everywhere except for government buildings and shopping malls. So it's a huge part of our community here in Kuwait. And it started slow. There was a lot of fighting against the Ministry of Health here in Kuwait, and when the what's called the Royal College of Physicians, the report came out, that opened a huge market here in Kuwait, and we began selling. Vape shop started opening. I can buy stuff from the US and customs that don't have to confiscate it. But again, I can't buy as in huge amounts of e-liquids because it's considered as in it's called as in a merchant thing. But yeah, basically vaping it's still around here in Kuwait. There are huge vape shops here in Kuwait.
So the people that do vape are really loyal to vaping, but the vape scene is still growing. You'd say that like it started and it kind of hit a lull, but you can see in the future that it's gonna pick back up again, or like it still has yet to have like that real takeoff.
Actually,
exactly.
Back to what you were saying earlier about getting stuff from America. Did you ever get any of your stuff confiscated when you were trying to import things?
Yeah, actually. Do you remember the BMI Goldie RDA when it first came out? Yeah. I bought all of the colors: the gold, the stainless steel, the blue. What else they had? Multiple colors, and it was confiscated. Till this day, I don't know where it is. I don't know if someone took it, as in customs, as in stole it, or if it's confiscated.
It's crazy how like we think that like the area we are in is so like heavy with the regulations, all that vaping stuff, how they're trying to pretty much kill it. But then you look at countries like Thailand, which they fucking arrest you if they catch you with a fucking vape. It's just crazy.
Really?
Isn't that in China also?
Yeah, it's illegal to vape. But yet there's still a vape scene there.
Where does
you can smoke.
95% of the stuff in the vape industry come out of?
What is
fucking China?
Hey.
I don't want to go into a political kind of thing.
In communist China, vape arrests you.
Okay. but I've been to Thailand, and I brought only my monster lungs. I didn't get any. How can I say? Any stink eyes in the airports. No. Nobody asked me. Nobody stopped me, as in police. But I've seen what the police do to, as in citizens, local citizens of Thailand. That's I don't know if it's corruption, as in the tobacco importers or manufacturers, as in farms, control that part of that aspect of the government. But I haven't had an issue.
Well, there's hope yet.
Yeah.
Quick question for the panel. As we wrap it up, I guess.
Yeah, we're down to our last 8 minutes here.
Yeah. So, quick question for the panel: what device, either currently on the market or soon to be on the market, are you most hyped for? Why don't we start with Poon Sauce?
Up and coming, huh? Well,
or currently on the market, you know?
Yeah. There's one thing that's currently on the market that I wish I had the fucking money to buy. It's because they're like $800 mods. I've been wanting to get a fucking Raksasa for ever. Those things are crazy. They're made in I believe they're made in the jungle of Thailand. Literally, there's these old guys sit in the jungle, vape, and fucking carve wooden mods. It's fucking the mods are just insane.
That sounds pretty dope.
Yeah, man. Where did you find out about this? That's the real question.
Oh yeah, no, I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
I don't remember how I found out about it, but then when I was in St. Louis and they actually Vaping Art was there, and because Vaping Art sells them on their website, they actually had some there. Oh my god!
Well, after this, you're gonna have to give us a link to that because I need to check that out.
Yeah,
I'll post the link right now. Hold on.
All right. So while he's doing that, why don't we move on over to James Franklin?
All right. Well, that's a good question, man.
Danny Castle says YouTube has a video on the Raksasa.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Oh, nice. I'll have to check that out. So
I'm posting the link right now.
Currently on the market, or you know what? To be honest, man, that Enforcer mod that Mike Mex was actually talking about in the chat here, that I just loving the look of that mech mod, man. It looks very beautiful. I'm
the grip?
No, the Enforcer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Believe it's 2,700 as well. But dude, that thing just looks beautiful, man. Just the way it's shaped and the curves and all that. It's definitely something I'm interested in for sure.
They're like 800.
What about you, Wagons?
Me? Oh, geez, there's too much to count. I won't talk about anything that's currently on the market because being a part of a vape community and hanging out with these dudes as well as a bunch of other really awesome dudes all the time, we kind of just, yeah, it's expensive. But on top of that, if we have anything that somebody else wants, I mean, geez, man, talk about hashtag blessed. Mr. Just Right One has really spread his legendary methodology about just blessing people all around, because it's like it's the power of threes, man. It's like you give one thing to one person, then he gives something to somebody else, and then he gives three things to that person, and then by the end of it, you know, I've made a ton of money from switching to Geico. But outside of that, I'm actually excited for a few of the stooges that are over on the Stew Crew on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Central. If you've seen the show, I know there are a lot of stooges in here. Our holy fathers are coming out with some really cool stuff. I'm really excited for Stan Tenacious TX Vapes. RTA.
I can't wait to see that thing.
It's going to be great. I really can't wait to try it.
Were you allowed to say what it was?
Awesome.
Yeah, it's an RTA. Everybody knows that.
I didn't know that.
Well,
it's a rebuildable transistor apple tree.
Well, exactly.
Apple juice?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, all of you know I'm a huge Hexom fan, and I'm waiting for that Daily Vape TV edition Hexom
Oh
V3.
heck
Oh,
yeah, dude!
yes.
I wish I
Yes.
said that, man.
Okay, yeah.
Hey Nick,
Now,
where's the Hex V3, buddy?
I'm also
yeah, I think
waiting
we're all on that train, man.
on his new atomizer, the T's.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the T's,
Yeah.
the T's RDTA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in what the Supreme Stooges will be dropping this year. Definitely got some interesting stuff coming our way. So,
It's awesome.
guys, I'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, and it's also awesome to see like people that started off in the position that like we're in. Right now we're trying to make names for ourselves. We're trying to bring people together, everything, and then seeing all the hard work they do, being able to put out product is just mind blowing. It's awesome.
Yeah. That's why, honestly, like Patreon, if you guys haven't heard of patreon.com, I mean, these guys hustle. I mean, all of us here, I got to say about Clown Vapes. I mean, we're on his channel right now. If you haven't hit that sub button, I mean, hit that sub button. I mean, we're 5 away from 100 right now. If you guys haven't and you're in here,
don't forget that notification bell too, so you guys can know whenever anything is uploaded.
Obviously, I'm going to let him wrap it up, and he can tell you a little bit about, you know, just generally what his channel is all about if you don't know already. But outside of that, patreon.com, I mean, these guys are hustling. These guys are making content, and it's their passion to do it, but they're spending time doing it. You know, all the guys in the stew, they're over on Patreon, and your support helps them to make their content. You know, also, it buys you their friendship, which is really awesome. Who knew you could buy friends? I didn't until I started donating to Patreon. But outside of that, you get free shit, and everybody loves free shit, which is another reason why if the moderators could post that FDA link in there, you can get a 240 ml bottle of juice if you go over to Oh My Lanta's Instagram and repost, like, and tag us. All right. So without further ado, sorry for my little rant there, Clown.
That's okay. No, you're good. Anybody else got anything else they want to say right before we shut this off?
No, just, you know, thanks for tuning in, guys. It was a great show. This is something we're going to try to do on a regular basis if schedules all interline, you know what I mean? So hopefully we'll see you guys again next week, and take it on, Clown.
All right, guys. So I am Clown Vapes. My channel normally is for DIY mixing and like flavoring reviews. I do that kind of thing. I also do some like hardware reviews, but not really, just whenever I feel like there's something that hasn't been spoken enough about and I have my own 2 cents to add to that. Then like last week, me and James over here did a Model 41 review because I was like, there isn't enough, and I know he has one, and we were trying to shoot for more of a consumer aspect kind of thing.
Yeah, that was definitely cool, man. I appreciate you inviting me on.
And I mean, we had fun. I do have a site for juice and coils, you know, trying to help, you know, build and grow this thing. The wife also posted my Patreon somewhere on there. I never really announce it because I just feel like I'm not big enough for it. But also everybody else, I mean, go help out everybody else. You know, Stan, Nick, Mr. Just Right.
If you like free shit, if anything else, if you like free shit, it's worth it for $5 or $10. So you skip 2 coffees a month and you get yourself an Aquifis RDA. I mean, that thing, what is that, $40? You just got yourself, you just spent $10 on a $40 RDA. Let's be honest. That's that's not even just math. That's facts.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, you want to who wants to run us out? We don't have a saying yet. But other than that, you've been vaping with the Ohmies.
Vaping with the Ohmies.
Till next time, guys.
Yep. Have a good one, everybody.
Pinky's out for Harambe.
Harambe.